So we have a running website, which looks quite good. The problem is that this is in our localhost. So the only person seeing this is, you, or someone who has access to your computer. So what we want to do instead is to deploy this website on web server or on cloud, as we will do in this course. And we'll be using the Heroku cloud. Heroku is a service that allows you to deploy Python applications in their cloud. The good news is that you can deploy an application for free and you can have your public domain for free as well. Though you'll need a subdomain of Heroku, so something like, let's say, ardit.heroku.com. However, if your site will have a lot of traffic later on, you'd want to actually upgrade your plan and buy more bandwidth. Deploying on Heroku is relatively easy. You don't have to think and to do any administrative work. So Heroku saves a lot of time and effort so that you can focus on programming instead of the server parts. Before deploying to Heroku though, we need to do something. There is something that we should have done since in the beginning of this section, so even before writing any file here. And what you should do is that you should create a virtual environment which is isolated from your other files and from your main Python installation. So to run our application we use Python, which is coming from our main installation. So this one here, the ones I have here. This is not a good practice. A good practice is to actually have a clean installation of Python, which is used only for your application. So in that installation, you don't want to have libraries installed, libraries that you don't need for building Flask applications. Therefore, we need to create a virtual environment. And here I'll show you how you can do that. To create a virtual environment, you need to use a virtual env Python library. And to use the virtual Python library, you need to install virtual env. So pip install virtual env. So we are using the main Python installation here to install virtual env. Great, that was successfully installed. And now we will create a virtual environment. The virtual environment should be created at the same level with the main folder that holds the application files. So if we go to our directory, just here is where the files are. And what I'll do is create a main folder in here and call it my site. And I'll close Atom for a while. And this would go inside this. So just here. And now you can open Atom in this directory, because here is where we will create the virtual environment. So let's open the command line now. And we are ready to create a virtual environment. And to do that, you should use the virtual env library by saying Python, the env argument, then you have venv, which is the name of the library, of the module. And m here is an argument which allows Python to locate modules for execution as scripts. Then you need to specify a name for the folder where the virtual environment files will be stored in. So that should work. Let's see. The virtual folder was created. And yeah, the environment was created successfully. What we have here is an isolated installation of Python. And inside scripts, you'll see that you have Python there. Here it is. Okay, don't worry about that. And here is pip as well, so pip.exe. And that means you can use that Python if you like. Let me try out. So we are now at the my site directory. That means we need to refer to virtual scripts and Python. And that will trigger our fresh Python in the console. However, we are not interested to actually run Python from the shell. So I'll just exit this. And what we're interested instead is to actually run the Flask application using the fresh installation of Python. But before we do that, we need to actually install Flask in our virtual Python if you like. And to do that, you need to use the pip library of your isolated Python. So you need to point to the virtual folder, to the script folder then, and then to pip install Flask. And so Flask is installing, and it also installed its dependencies. And we should be good to go now. So let's run our web app using our new installation of Python. To do that, you need to point to the new Python, and that to demo, because we are in my site now, as you see here. So demo / script 1.py. That should work. Great. And if you go to the website now, you'll see that it's working fine. That's it. Now you are more than ready to deploy your Flask application on the cloud. And we'll do just that in the next lecture. And I would like to mention it again that please keep in mind that you should always create a virtual environment before you create your Flask application. So before writing any code, you should use a fresh installation of Python.